Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. The second deadliest U.S. mass shooting of the year unfolded at a Texas shopping mall, leaving at least 8 victims dead. 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia was identified as the gunman of the Saturday mass shooting at the Allen Premium Outlets, just 25 miles north of Dallas, Texas. Garcia was killed on scene by an Allen police officer who was on call nearby when the shooting began. According to officials, the gunman was wearing a patch on his chest that may be linked with right-wing extremist groups. Texas Governor Greg Abbott met with law enforcement and local leaders in the town of Allen on Sunday evening. Abbott said he believes the public will have more information on why and how this happened in the coming days. 8 people were killed and at least 10 injured in Brownsville, Texas, this weekend when an SUV slammed into a crowd at a city bus stop near a shelter for migrants. Brownsville police investigator Martin Sandoval said the crash happened around 8:30 a.m. and authorities are still investigating if the crash was intentional or an accident. Sandoval said in a statement, quote, "It can be 3 factors. It could be intoxication, it can be an accident, or it could be intentional," end quote. Sandoval said the driver was arrested on a charge of reckless driving and that more charges will likely be filed. According to authorities, they have not released the age or name of the driver because he has been uncooperative and has provided several different names. As the national COVID emergency is coming to an end this week on May 11th, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, submitted her resignation last Friday, saying it was a good time to make a transition. CDC officials said Walensky's last day will be June 30th after being the agency's director for a little over 2 years. In her resignation letter to President Joe Biden, she expressed mixed feelings about the decision, but said, quote, "I have never been prouder of anything I have done in my professional career," end quote. Walensky was previously an infectious disease specialist at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital, but came to the CDC to rebuild public trust in the agency and to improve its response to the pandemic. The FDA has released a warning that more than 500,000 home COVID-19 tests from Roche and SD Biosensor should be thrown out immediately. The agency cites significant concerns over bacteria that could infect users of the tests. The FDA says the recalled pilot COVID-19 at-home tests were distributed to CVS and to Amazon, but none of the potentially contaminated kits were distributed through the federal government's testing programs. The FDA says bacteria discovered in liquid tubes that come with the test kits can lead to potentially dangerous infections, especially in people with compromised immune systems. So far, the FDA says it has not received any reports of injuries or deaths linked to contaminated tests. Manufacturers Roche and SD Biosensor said they have worked with distributors and retailers to quarantine lots of the tests while their investigation continues and are cooperating with the FDA. While the state isn't reporting daily COVID-19 health trends anymore, the Mass DPH is still monitoring and reporting health trends on a weekly basis. On May 4th, newly released metrics show that over 38,000 molecular tests were conducted and 897 new positive cases were reported in the last week. As of May 2nd, 172 people are hospitalized in Massachusetts and 15 are in the ICU. 14 new deaths were also recorded in the last 7 days. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
COVID-19 boosters are an important tool to keep you healthy. You may still get COVID after getting a booster, but it helps reduce your risk of severe illness, hospitalization, and death. Learn more at mass.gov/COVID vaccine.
Welcome back. The red carpet was rolled out on Friday evening at Braintree Town Hall for the town's annual Fancy Formal event. Fancy Formal is a chance for Braintree's special needs community to both attend an event dedicated to them in a prom or formal dance setting, but also a chance to be celebrated while connecting with others in the community. The event has been hosted annually since 2017, with only 1 year off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Program Director Carrie Doherty says the event has grown in attendance and scope and even inspired other communities to start their own event. Doherty said, quote, "The level of happiness in the room is unparalleled. The smiles that you see are so genuine and heartwarming that you can't help but smile too for days," end quote. Last Thursday, police presence was heightened in one Braintree neighborhood as officers looked for a man they believed to be suicidal. Police arrived to the area of Plymouth Road and the Highlands around 7:30 a.m. with officials from the Metropolitan Law Enforcement Council, Quincy Police Department, and Environmental Police. Quincy provided assistance in the search with a drone, and the Environmental Police helped search on ATVs. Officers eventually found the man after searching the woods behind South Street and Old Country Way. He was then transported to South Shore Hospital, according to officials. No further details have been released. A Braintree food drive is set to collect donations for the Marge Crispin Center next week. The drive, hosted by Keller Williams for Red Day, is scheduled for the Town Hall Green on May 11th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The drive is asking for canned and boxed soup, pasta sauce, tuna, cereal, as well as any other non-perishable goods that are not expired. Braintree's Spring Yard Waste Curbside collections will continue through the weeks of May 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Acceptable items are grass, leaves, and twigs. The compost site will also be open Wednesday through Sunday for larger items from 7:15 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. $35 Earth Machine compost bins are available to Braintree residents. Bins can be purchased at the Treasurer's office at Town Hall on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. or on Tuesdays from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Fridays 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bins will be delivered by recycling office staff after payment. For more information, you can visit the Town Hall website at braintreema.gov. The annual rabies clinic for the town of Braintree is scheduled for Saturday, May 13th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the outside side entrance of the town hall. The clinic is sponsored by the town of Braintree, the Braintree Jaycees, and Dr. Joseph Cosman, DMV of the VCA. The vaccination fee is $15 per animal. Everyone is asked to bring their animal's current rabies certificate. Braintree High School spring sports are in full swing. Here's Mike Wassel with the latest sports rundown.
Boys lacrosse, Braintree and Newton North, and a goal here in the first quarter for the Womps to take a 1-0 lead as the Tigers able to bounce back and knot it at 1 in a low-scoring first half as Braintree goes ahead 2-1. Now tied at 2 here in the third quarter as the rain starts to fall. The goals start to fall as well as Braintree now leading 5-4 here in the third quarter, and now a 2-goal lead at 6-4. It's 7-6 now Braintree late in the fourth quarter, and a goal here in the final seconds to tie the score, send it to overtime, and in overtime it is Newton North with a stunning win here in OT, an 8-7 final as they shock Braintree with a late goal and then a goal in overtime. Baseball, Braintree and Hingham, and a ground ball to third brings home a run, and then the throw gets away as Braintree scores their second of the inning, leading 2-0 here in the first, as this one gets away from the catcher after the Braintree strikeout and allows another run to score, as Braintree now with a 3-0 lead, and they will add to it here as the runner able to dive in there safely, and Braintree now leading 6-0, and the hit finds its way into the outfield as Braintree now a 7-0 advantage, and Hingham getting on the board here with an RBI hit to now Braintree with a 9-1 lead here in the seventh, and the final out of the ball game, a fly out to center field as the game ends. Braintree with a 9-1 win over Hingham. Moving on to softball, Braintree and Framingham, and a ground ball That the throw gets away. Braintree scores 1 run and then a second coming around as well. A 2-0 lead for Braintree, and then a throwing error after a nice line drive catch as Braintree tags up and scores and takes a 4-0 lead here in the first inning as Framingham looking to battle back, and then Braintree with a mistake here as well as they try to throw it back to third, and that throw gets away as now the Flyers getting a 4-2 game now, and then this one off the glove of the second baseman into center field as the Flyers make it a 4-3 game as we play here in the fifth, and then a close pitch, call the ball as the run is brought in on the bases loaded walk. Now 5-5, and the Flyers take the lead here in the sixth inning in a back and forth game as the runner sliding in safely, and then Braintree tying the score up and taking the lead here in the sixth inning as they lead 10-6 now, and then a flare of a hit falls as well and scores a couple more runs as Braintree leads 12-6. You think this one's over, and here in the seventh inning with the game now a 3-run game, it is down to 1 after a 2-run hit. It's 13-12, and Braintree getting a ground ball back to the mound to end the ball game, and what ended up being a very close game after Braintree led pretty big here late at 13-12 final. Moving on to lacrosse, it's the Womps and the Flyers as Braintree with a second goal of the first half here by Burchill, and then the rebound adding to it as Braintree scored 4 goals with a player up as the Flyers trying to get back in the game, making it a 3-goal game. Right before halftime, Braintree denied on the doorstep, changed the tide of this game as the Flyers in the second half really brought it to Braintree as they trail by 2. Now it's a 1-goal game, and they tie the score here as the rain starts to pick up. It's 10-10 here in the second half, and then in the waning seconds, Braintree just missing the winning goal, but here in overtime, a very odd sequence as the Flyers look like they win the game, but the goal is taken off the board here as the referees talk it over, and Braintree was supposed to be a player up. Framingham did not have a player off the field, and it ends up going to the other side where Braintree will have a chance to win, and they do on the shot from Burchill, who scores her 4th of the game, and Braintree with a crazy win here today over Framingham, 12-11.
Thanks, Mike, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Did you know your teenager's brain is more likely to get addicted to nicotine than yours? The tobacco and vaping industries do. They target teens with their products and try to cover up the fact that there's nicotine in them. Talk with your kids about the real dangers of vaping.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Lindsay Clancy, the mother from Duxbury, who has been accused of killing her 3 young children before jumping out a window of the family's home, has been moved to a different hospital. According to court records, doctors transferred Clancy to Tewksbury State Hospital because they believe she needed extended mental health care. Her lawyer, Kevin Reddington, said Clancy is a paraplegic with spinal transection. He plans to argue the woman lacks any criminal responsibilities, saying, quote, "I question whether she would ever make it to a trial. She's suicidal. She's extremely emotional. However, she's unable and has been unable to express any happiness or sadness or cry," end quote. Clancy is facing 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of strangulation or suffocation, and 3 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon in the deaths of her 3 children. Her next court date has been delayed to July 25th. An unnamed man from Quincy is recovering from a stab wound following what he says was a road rage incident with a woman last Thursday night. The man says he was heading to soccer practice in Newton when he made a mistake by drifting into the next traffic lane when the woman started beeping. He says she followed him all the way to his destination, which was about 10 miles further, noticing her on and off. When he pulled into the lot at Newton's Daly Field, she also pulled into the parking lot. She then pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the leg after spitting on him. He immediately called 911 and was able to capture video of both her and her vehicle with his cell phone, but never saw the knife until it was too late. Police are still searching for the attacker. Algonquin Gas Transmission will be conducting conducting maintenance activities that require controlled venting of natural gas at the Weymouth compressor station. The controlled venting may occur intermittently between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. from Friday, May 5th through Saturday, May 12th. The maintenance activities will be conducted in accordance with applicable regulations and with public health and safety as a priority. Local police, fire, and municipal offices in Weymouth, Braintree, Quincy, and Hingham have been notified of the operation. If you have any questions, you may call Algonquin's Westwood office at 1-888-293-7867. Calls are also being directed to the Enbridge Gas Control 24-hour call line at 1-800-726-8383. The second annual Quincy Multicultural Festival is scheduled for Saturday, May 13th. Cultural displays including Chinese flower folding, Mexican piñatas, henna tattoos, and many others will fill the Four River Clubhouse for a festival that aims to highlight Quincy's diversity. The event will include performances, food from around the world, and displays put together by Quincy families to showcase their heritage. This year, the festival is registered as a non-profit organization, and the event will raise money to support families interested in participating in the festival, as some families were not able to host tables last year due to financial constraints. The Quincy Multicultural Festival is scheduled for noon to 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 13th. For more information, visit discoverquincy.com. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Every home needs a basic emergency supply kit. It should meet the unique needs of the people who live there. Your kit doesn't have to cost a lot. You probably already have many of these supplies, and you can get others at a discount store. Visit mass.gov/beprepared.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. This week in entertainment, we have 3 movie recommendations for you to watch. First up in entertainment, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 focuses on Peter Quill, who must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of their own. If the mission is unsuccessful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. The film was just released and already is a box office hit, bringing in $283 million globally. You can watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 now only in theaters. Next up, Love Again focuses on Mira Ray, who, while coping with the loss of her fiancé, decides to send a series of text messages to his old cell phone number, not realizing it was assigned to journalist Rob Burns. Burns is assigned to write a profile on superstar Celine Dion and decides to enlist Mira's help in hopes of getting to meet her in person. The film stars Priyanka Chopra and Sam Heughan. You can watch Love Again now only in theaters. Finally, in entertainment, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret follows 11-year-old Margaret Simon, who moves to a new town and starts to contemplate everything about life, friendship, and adolescence. Margaret relies on her mother, Barbara, and her loving support, and her grandmother, Sylvia, who is coming to terms with finding happiness in the next phase of her life. Questions of identity and what brings meaning to life brings the characters closer together than ever before. You can watch Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret now only in theaters. That'll do it for news today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.